When my wife Sarah hit me with that line, "You're going a month without any intimacy from me," I genuinely believed she was kidding. Sure, we'd had our disagreements in the past, but this one carried a different weight. It all kicked off from a minor oversight. I'd forgotten to collect her outfit from the cleaners ahead of her evening out with friends, and what started as a mild grumble quickly escalated into a major blow-up. She claimed I didn't care about what mattered to her, that I took her efforts for granted. Then, standing there with arms folded tightly and gaze icy, she delivered her verdict. "Perhaps a full month apart will teach you to truly cherish me once more." I just looked at her, shocked, not furious, only quietly grasping that the woman I'd vowed to spend my life with had somehow vanished. During those initial days, I stayed composed. No arguments. No pleading. I headed to the office, returned home, prepared my own food, and quietly handled the household tasks she'd neglected. She anticipated I'd mope around or chase after her affection. Instead, I remained even-tempered, composed, and oddly detached. Whenever she'd stroll by in her satin nightgown, clearly trying to provoke a reaction, I'd simply give a courteous nod and return to my book or laptop screen. I watched irritation build behind her stare, her usual self-assurance starting to fracture. Her sense of power rested entirely on dominance. My quiet restraint was dismantling it piece by piece. After 7 days, she began pushing limits. At the table, she'd lightly graze my fingers or hover unnecessarily near while I cooked, hoping I'd cave. I never did. I'd offer a gentle smile, wish her good evening, and retire to the spare room. Into the second week, her anger was barely contained. "Are you seriously fine with all this?" she demanded one evening. I lifted my eyes from the page and replied evenly, "I'm honoring what you asked for. You wanted separation. I'm respecting that boundary." That's the instant she saw her tactic had backfired. The reins weren't hers anymore. By week 3, she began unraveling. She initiated random chats, questioned whether my feelings remained, brought up trivial topics, anything to crack my resolve. But in reality, I'd already distanced myself emotionally. What she intended as discipline had turned into my tranquility. I returned to the fitness center, poured energy into my career, reconnected with old buddies she'd once discouraged me from seeing. The breathing room she'd imposed brought sharp perspective. Her physical absence didn't pain me. What I longed for was the version of her that existed before pride overtook warmth. Then arrived the evening she finally crumbled. I was preparing for sleep when she entered, dressed in that particular outfit she knew once drove me wild. She lingered there uncertainly, nibbling her lower lip. "Okay, you've made your statement," she murmured. "Can we end this now?" I set my computer aside, met her gaze directly, and answered without heat. "And what?" Her expression fell. "This whole thing. This challenge." I gave a small smile. "Sarah, there was never any challenge here. You set the terms. I simply adapted to them." Tears welled up, and briefly she seemed diminished. Not physically, but inwardly. "I only needed to know I was valued," she confessed, voice trembling. Rather than soothing her, I responded, "You chose to use withholding as punishment. That isn't affection, Sarah. That's domination." The quiet that settled afterward felt more oppressive than any fight we'd endured. She extended her hand toward mine, but I carefully withdrew. For the first time, it sank in that my closeness couldn't be rationed or commanded. The following morning she rose ahead of me, prepared a meal, and put on an overly bright, remorseful act as if normalcy had returned. But I'd already decided. I explained I required genuine distance this time. For weeks on, I packed and left the house. She wept, pleaded, swore she'd transform. Yet the reality was I'd completed that month solo, and it revealed precisely how liberating life felt free from games, without endless caution around her moods. Some months afterward, she spotted me at a local coffee shop. I sat there chuckling with a new companion, someone genuine and kind. Sarah halted by the register, her cup trembling noticeably. Our eyes met. I offered a polite smile and turned my attention back to the person across from me. In that instant, she finally understood. It wasn't control she'd surrendered. It was me entirely.